Jazzcast Pros.
Welcome to Healthy Illness Podcast. I am your host, Kelly Marie, and this is the podcast helping you build healthy relationships while living with mental health conditions. You don't have to have a diagnosis. You can have a diagnosis. I do. And I utilize my experience. I utilize my many years of therapy. I utilize my training in mental health and wellness to help you build the healthy relationships that you need, not just with people, but with all things: food, money, the environment. We are multifaceted people here, right? And so what does that mean? What does that look like? Thank you for listening to Healthy Illness, a part of Jazzcast Pros Network. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you're getting something out of this, let me know. Leave a comment, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Check the show notes. I can be found The Front Seat Life on Facebook and IG. And our email is frontseatlife@gmail.com. Now, today we are continuing the conversation that I started last week with Marie Cannon. Marie is the commissioner of Erie County's Department of Social Services and licensed social worker. She has spent her career helping people in really their times of need. And so I thought it would be great to have Marie on the show after she participated in a panel that I led for the Igniting Hope conference here in Buffalo, New York. And we've just been having a great conversation. So here is part 2 of our interview. Marie is just radically real and transparent in her desire to live and not die, right? So thank you for listening. And Marie, let's keep it going. Thank you for being here. Your story of self-care is incredible and really, I think, can help others transform their lives and realize that they need to put themselves first, and not in a negative way, but in a way that means we are pouring into ourselves so that we are able to be whole and also have something to give to other people.
So I've been on this journey of taking care of myself. And part of it, I'm be honest with you, my husband is very disciplined. He was in the military. So he decided that he was going to eat better and get up and exercise. He got up every morning at 5 o'clock.
And just did it.
Oh, I couldn't stand it. And listen, he lost weight. Everybody was like, "Oh, you look so nice." Girl, I was jealous. I mean, like, jealous for real. I was like, I'm eating salad and I lost 2 ounces. But when I said what it did at some point when I got past that, I was like, you're not going to have changes unless you make changes. So I started getting up. I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock because I was trying to do that. And I was like, what I'm up this early for? And then I got 3 hours, whatever. And then I said, do your own pace. But he did encourage me to do that. So I was riding my bike 20, and I did stupid stuff like, I'm going to get on for 20 minutes. Then I was like, well, I'm on here for 20 minutes. I probably can do 5 more. Then every day I'll be like, okay, I'm on here for 20. So maybe I could do 10 more. And then I just said, of course, I told you I'm goal oriented. I was like, you know what? You're going to do movement three times a week. That was my goal. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just moving. And, because all movement helps your mind, decreases your blood pressure, stress management, because stress will kill us. And I do believe, especially for Black folks in America, stress, it is just the environment we're in, because this environment that we're in is not loving, accepting of us. It is hostile to our psyche, it's hostile to it's just hostile. And then we have to learn how to not only survive, but to thrive in it. And so, movement helps bring all of that down. I've been committed to that. And then I just started with it's a personal trainer, but it's usually like it's group training, like 5 people there when I show up. And I will tell you, I can tell the difference. My knees stop hurting. I just feel better. Like, one of the things I do is stress ball. You throw it down. Do you know how cathartic that is? Because I'm thinking about the stupid stuff I had to deal with. And I was like, when I wanted to really punch you in your throat, I'm throwing the ball down. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you all that, but that's the truth.
We ain't say no names. That's just,
Right. I didn't tell you who I saw on this wall in the face. So Kelly, I would just tell you that's been my journey. And if anything, if I could share, is that we have to say that we're worthy of taking care of ourselves. I think that as women and as Black women, we're caretakers, we're protectors, like we're warriors. We gonna get it done. But one of the things that we do often is we put ourselves last. We'll take care of the children, take care of our families, take care of it. Like we gonna get it done. Like we show up, it's gonna be done. We have to say, I am worthy, and this isn't a luxury. Taking care of myself isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's a necessity to keep my mind clear, keep my heart clear, keep my strength, my vision clear, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And when I'm stressful and I've done too much, then I'm short, I'm nasty, I'm just not myself, and I'm not in this good space. So we have to give ourselves permission, and nobody else can give that to us. We have to say, you know what? I am a priority. And so I make all my other decisions are around the fact that I am a priority. And so when I'm looking at my schedule, I've even said to my assistant, so I go twice a week to this group training. This is the time you don't make any meetings for me past this time because I'm leaving out of here at this time. And then what I found is once you start to do that, people figure out how to work around you. I'm like, nope, I'm not available Tuesday because I'm doing something at between 5 and 6. So it is saying I'm worthy to make myself a priority. It is not a luxury. It is a necessity that I make myself a priority. And then it is saying that I'm going to figure out in my schedule, in my role, how to take care of myself. And it is for me, mind, body, and soul. And so I think incorporating those pieces, I didn't stress myself like I got to do 100 things. I said, these are the 2 things I'm going to do. And then it got added on and it got added on and it got added on. And I believe you have to do things to feed your soul. And yes, for me, it is prayer and it is scripture and it is fellowship with the saints of God. But it's also other things. Like I took a jewelry making class. Oh, I don't have it on. And I got this little bracelet that I made. I am so proud of it. It literally is tarnishing. I am still wearing this bracelet because I made it. It falls off. I put it right back on. And I had asked people like my girlfriends, like, you guys want to go to this jewelry making class? Nobody can do it. Guess what? I went to the class by myself. And I made this, and so next time you see me, you were like, oh, that's the little piece you made. And the little fake bees, the term. I don't care. Then
I love it.
I did a wreath making class where you go and make wreaths. Mine look like the kind you put on like caskets. That's how bad it looked. But you know what? It was for me. And
Yeah.
believe it or not, like that fed my soul about being creative. And I am not artistic. I am not creative in the least bit, but it didn't even matter. I was putting those flowers on everything. And I brought it to work and hung it on my door, even though it looked like a wreath that goes on a casket.
I
I
love
was
it.
like, I don't care. That's been my journey, and it is a journey. So every day, as I take time to challenge myself, because we have this self talk, and so I challenge my self talk, and I'm saying, nope, Marie, listen, you're worthy of living well. I'm supposed to live. I'm supposed to live and not die. That's part of it, and I don't want to just survive. We have enough of that. I am like, so how do I thrive? And what that thriving looks like is going to be very different for everybody. So I know you love Legos. Like I could never get my mind around it. I get 2 pieces and I was like, I can't do this. So it'll look differently for people,
Mhm.
but it is the basic is deciding you're worthy about it, deciding that I'm gonna do something about it. And it's self-love. So I see the taking care of myself is really a reflection, and it is a worship to God that the temple that you put me in, that the life you're allowing me to live, that I'm going to take care of it and I'm going to live the best life that I can. whatever that looks like. For me, it's these, doing, jewelry making. For me, it was going back to school to get my doctorate degree because it was something I've always wanted to do. And I actually, believe it or not, I actually got accepted into a program when I was young. But part of my, sense of responsibility, my parents died when I was young. And so I raised a brother, and then I was like, I can't leave him. And then part of it was the fear of like, what if I fail? And so I missed that opportunity. So always in the back of my mind, I had regrets about that. And so when I had a chance to apply at UB, and I was like, I'm going for it. So I am right now, I have one more semester and I will be graduating with my doctorate in social work. And I'm going to tell you, May 18th, 2024, which is my birthday. I was like,
Yes.
perfect.
Get out of here. That's timing.
Isn't that timing? It's those kinds of things. So, and what I've shared is that I don't want to get to the end of my life, and and I'm getting ready to transition from here to see Jesus, right? I don't want to have any regrets about what I didn't do. One, because I was afraid, or two, because I didn't think I was worthy of it. And so now I am living life like, you know what? You want to do it, and it is godly and it lines up, we're going to do it. You want to spend some time with your friends, we're going to do it. You want to buy you a nice, I don't know, coat, whatever it is, I'm going to do it. Like I am in such a different space around it. And for me, it's not material, but there are some things that I've just never done. And I'm like, we're going on vacation. We went on our first 2-week vacation. 2 weeks, best thing I could have ever done. I'm like, we're planning 2 weeks next year.
That's
You know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying? So
Yes.
it is just saying when my time is up, I am like, whatever the number of days that I have lived it. I have lived it. I've done. And I see my work honestly as ministry, and I see what we do as a moral responsibility to do it well. Listen, I'm gonna walk off this job, and people that know my work they're going to say she gave everything that she could give to do this well. That's what I want my legacy to be. She lived well. She lived well.
There was this article I read a while ago. It might have been before I started in this position, but it said that Black women are the shield and the sword. And the article was basically saying we get used to be the sword, to set things straight, to chop it all up, to make it right. But then when things turn, then you use us as your shield to block you from everything you actually should be responsible for. And we play this dual role. We were brought into spaces to set things straight. And then when they get too hot, you then use us as the scapegoat and say, well, they were the sword. So, and then we're stuck and caught. So I thought about that initially, but as you were talking about radical self-care and being transparent in your story and just talking, it's like, this is how we protect ourselves. We protect ourselves in this self-care way so that when others decide to put us in a box, we are protected so that we will only be and show up as ourselves. I'm not your sword. I'm not your shield. I am Kelly Marie.
Yes.
And I'm going to come here and be the trouble because that is the role that I accepted. And when I'm done, I'm going to leave.
Right.
And
amen to that. You absolutely. I mean, I love that language, and that is such a real depiction of what happens. The sword and the shield. You're right. Yes, that's exactly what happens all
and that hit. I was like,
the time.
So when you started putting together your self-care plan, I'll call it, what were you started saying no and setting those boundaries? What were some of the reactions you got when you started implementing the self-care plan, and how did you respond to it?
Yes, because if we've been in a pattern of saying yes and showing up everywhere and responding, people were just a little taken aback. And I will tell you, I started even with my own church, and I was like, listen, I'm not going to be available as much as I've been available. One, my work is heavy, and they kind of understood that. And then two, once I started this doctoral program, I'm like, this is a lot of work. And I am not going to squander this opportunity that I have. So when they would ask, could I do something? No, I can't. If you want me to do something, I can only do it 4 months out on this date. I think people were a little taken aback because they're so used to you. They were so used to me just getting up and doing it. Like, I'm just going to get up and do it. And even at work, as I leave out at 4:30 twice a week, sometimes I feel like they're like, and I was like, whatever. When I got to the point of being able to say no is a full sentence, is when I knew I had really got to setting boundaries. Because as I was working towards it, I would say no, but I would give a reason and I was like, okay, I can't do it this day, but I could make. So I was still trying to figure it out. And then when I got to this place of like, no, and just stop talking, then people just walked away. Like, like you say no, and I'm not saying anything else. They're like, oh, okay. So they have to adjust, and you have to be comfortable with waiting for people to adjust. Because now they're like, oh, you're doing all of this. Now you just can't do it. No, I can't because I don't have the time to do it. And now I'm like, listen, what you got was all you gonna get. So figure it out for somebody else. You got to be comfortable with it too. And it took me some time to get there. As I said, I gave all the reasons. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't even say that. I'm like, no, I can't. That's the end of the story. And people would still kind of wait, and they would still ask, like I hadn't said anything, like I hadn't just said no, but couching it in this language gave people like, I don't know if she really saying no or what. But when you get to clarity around no, they adjust. I think at the end of the day, as much as we might be uncomfortable with it ourselves and other people are, that they will adjust. If it's something I really need to know, then just call me because I'm not going to check my emails. Because there were times I checked my email. There were times that I've been on vacation just for a week with me and my husband, and I took 3 meetings, and I'm like, that's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to y'all. This time I was like, I'm not checking my email. You call me. And when you teach people how to treat you, that now they know your boundaries, they will go the extra step themselves. And one of the things my staff did is that some things that were like really serious, they didn't even email me. They held it till when they knew I got back because they said, just in case because they know that I'm checking my emails. They're like, just in case if you were going to check your emails, we didn't want to disturb you. Like, so one, I was grateful for that. But the two is that I had learned to have people teach them how to treat me. And that's what we do with boundaries. And when we treat ourselves bad, people follow suit. And they don't mean, and I don't believe is vindictive or intentional, but how we show up, and I say I treat myself bad, and I call it being disrespectful to the God in me when I don't take care of myself. People think they can disrespect me as well. There's always this set of people who are going to do it anyways because
Habitual line steppers.
right.
Yeah.
I like that, but it's teaching people how to treat you. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
one of the things I did in emails was I stopped saying, please let me know if you have any questions. I don't
Mm,
include that in my emails anymore. I don't want to know if I said what I said.
right.
Thanks.
I like that. I like that. So
If
this
you
is
have questions, you'll ask, but I'm not about to offer that the door is still open.
right.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I'm gonna do that too. So this whole journey, like I got some stuff because people said it and did it. Well, she can do it. I can do it too.
You can do
So
it, and you did it.
I
And
know.
then you're teaching others, right? Like, oh, I could. Well, I won't take 2 weeks, but I'll take a week because I've only taken a day. Like you've got to be able to take the time, whatever that time is. I see people with like hundreds of hours of time. I'm like, why is you
Why?
working every day?
Like why?
The time is for you.
Right. And I
Not
have
like sick time, but like vacation.
your
Like,
your vacation, your personal time. No, you're right. I have hundreds of hours of vacation and probably 1,000 hours in sick, and I have not been there that long. I'm at one. I don't get sick, thank God. But I've learned. Why am I holding all of this? Something happened to me, girl. Is this what I learned? Listen, I am not indispensable. And listen, I get ran over by the bus, tomorrow. They'll be like, "Oh, she did a great job. Okay, we posting her job today." Like
Yeah.
that's
Because the work
real
continues.
because it's going to continue.
The work continues. And it's not disrespectful. It's not
Nope.
like, oh, because y'all going to miss me when I go. But the work still
Yes.
continues.
And
It's still going to go on.
Absolutely. And then a couple months, they'd be like, "What was her name? You know the one."
The one that be giving the looks when we in the Zoom meetings.
Right. Y'all know Mary, no, Marsha. Well, that's why it's our responsibility to live our lives the best life that we can live. And it's not easy. We everybody got something. That's what I know. Everybody got something. Everybody either been through something, going through something, or going to go through. That's life. Life's us. That's part of it. But it's how we show up in it, and how we respond, and how we say, "Nope, you know what? I'm going to live. I'm going to be all that I'm going to be with everything that I am, my quirkiness, but I'm going to show up, and as I started, I'm going to show up unapologetically female because that's who I am, and I'm showing up unapologetically black because that's who I am, and I'm just showing up unapologetically smart because that's who I am, unapologetically. So that's where I'm in my life, and I don't know if it has to do with age. When people get older, you're like, boy, they say whatever they want to say. Don't care. No filter. I'm on the cusp of that. The gift that we have in life, for life, that we're here regardless of what we've been through, because many of us, if we really told our full stories, full stories, many of us would be saying it is only because of the grace of God, because what I've seen, what I've been through, and sometimes what I've done. You know what I'm saying?
And
And
that's
so,
real. Yeah.
and so I say, since I'm still here, then I got a responsibility to live well.
Make it good.
Make it good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every minute.
Make it good.
Make it good. Whistle and walk away.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. Oh man, this is so good. Everything you said was necessary to be said and heard, and talking about the mind, body, and soul, all the pieces, what it looks like, how you knew, and saying no, and setting boundaries, and like real life stuff. And because life's that's what it do.
Yes, that's what it do.
And if you ain't been through it, then something ain't right. That because life's
right.
Like, it's gonna be grief, it's gonna be loss, it's gonna be hurt, it's gonna be pain.
Yes.
But we find the joy, we find the happiness, we take the 2 weeks, we tell people no, we got to give some of that back.
Yeah, that is so true.
Any closing thoughts? Anything that you feel like somebody still needs to hear? Or, everything you said was so good. And so I took down notes. I can put it in the show notes, and I'm going to find the book and put the link to the book in the show notes too. The social worker was social working. You was doing it. Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to start calling you Dr. Cannon every time I see you. But, oh, Dr. Cannon. So they're going to be like, she finished. Because ain't nobody going to say nothing.
Right.
Oh, Dr. Cannon. I can't wait.
Girl, listen, I said everybody gonna call me Dr. Cannon at least once.
Yep. Thank you, Marie, so much for just sharing with me and with us and keeping it real. If you are looking for places to go, someone to speak to, if you're trying to, learn to build boundaries and don't know where to find a therapist, or don't know what resources are in your community to be able to help you live a healthier lifestyle, try dialing 211 on your phone or in your browser. It is the United Way's national or nationwide here in the U.S. support system that allows you to find resources in your community. If you need to talk to someone right now, if you are thinking of harming yourself or taking your life, if you are tired and don't see a way forward, like I have been in the past, just feel like you can't function, if you don't know where to go and you feel yourself settling into and being in a dark space, please dial 988 There are trained professionals that answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to guide you through this moment. You are not alone. Help is available, and this will not always last. So until the next time, I encourage you to be the light for yourself and be the light for others, because we never know when someone will need a light when they are in a dark place.